Today's lesson is going to be about rounding whole numbers. Sometimes an exact number is not needed when you describe a number. Let's say we're talking about a talent competition and you wanted to know how many singers there were. You could say there were about a certain number of people, and that would at least give you an idea of how large the competition is. So you can round a whole number to a particular place value, such as the tens, the hundreds, the thousands place, and so on. An estimate is another way of giving an approximate that is close to the exact number. If you were asked to round a number, for example, the number 478 to the nearest 10, the digit in the ones place becomes a 0. This is because what the question is really asking you is if that number is closer to 470 or 480. We can see on the number line our number 478. And once again, if we were asked to round in the tens place, this is our 7. And we want to know, as far as a tens is concerned, are we closer to 470 or to 480? Visually, it's easier to see that our 478 is closer to 480 than it is to 470. So in rounding 478, we would say, well, it is closer to 480. When we are rounding, though, we don't always have a number line with us to actually see what our number is closer to. So there is a mathematical process of rounding whole numbers. The first thing we need to do is circle the digit in the place to which you are rounding. Let's say in our number below, the 349, we want to round again in the tens place. So we would circle our 4 because that's the digit that is in the tens place. Then step number 2 says we underline the digit to the right of the circled digit. This is our 9. Step 3. If the underlined digit is 5 or more, the number will round up, and we would add 1 to the circled digit. But if the underlined digit is less than 5, the number will round down, and the circled digit will not change. So let's look at this step. It says if the underlined digit is 5 or more. Well, my underlined digit is a 9. 9 is larger than 5. So I can stop there and say, well, I need to round up. So I'm going to add 1 to the circled digit. Well, my circled digit is a 4. If I add 1 to a 4, I get a 5. So my 349 would become 300. I'm going to add 1 to the 4. It becomes a 5. And then my final step, number 4, says all the digits to the right of the circled digit becomes zeros. So I would have 350. So let's look at this and see if that's a reasonable answer. If I have the number 349, I want to round in the tens place. I'm asking myself, is 349 closer to 350 or to 340? And it is closer to 350. Let's try this next number. The number is 342. Again, I want to round in the tens place, and I have another 4. So I've circled the digit that in the place to which I'm rounding, and step number 2 says underline the digit to the right of the circled digit. So I underline my 2. Step number 3 says, if the underlined digit is 5 or more, the number will round up. Well, my 2 is not 5 or more, so let's look at the next situation. If the underlined digit is less than 5, and it is, the number will round down, and the circled digit will not change. So I'm saying that my 4, which is the circled digit, is not going to change. It's going to stay the same. So I can go ahead and write my 300. My circled digit does not change. It is a 4. And then my final step is all the digits to the right of the circled digit becomes a 0. So I have 340. Once again, let's see if that's a reasonable answer. My number is 342, and I want to know, is 342 closer to 340 or to 350? And it is closer to 340, so I have rounded correctly.